I'd like to call the City of Boonville Council meeting to order. At this time, Councilman Morris Carter will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we come to you tonight. We ask you for your guidance. We ask you to help us make the correct decisions for the citizens of Boonville. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call.
Carter.
Here.
Ehlers. Here. Heaton. Young.
Here.
Evans. Here. Meadows.
Here.
Beach.
Here.
Hurt.
Here. Mayor,
Morris.
if I could, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda under new business to accept the resignation of Ward 2 Councilman of Nora Heaton.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you, Ned. That would be item D. Any discussion? You should have received a letter at your place from Noah about that. Roll call.
Carter.
Yes.
Ehlers. Here. Young.
Yes.
Evans.
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Beach.
Yes.
Hurt.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. That will be added to new business. Hearing of citizens' comments. At this time, if you have some comments you'd like to make, we ask that you go to the microphone, and you have 3 to 5 minutes. So I know Joan Reed is here this evening to speak.
3 to 5 minutes? There's no pen here.
Here's a cup.
She found one.
You recycled it.
A certain type of plastic that can be recycled.
Number 7.
Yeah.
I'm Joan Reed, Ward 2, here representing Pickup Boonville, our annual citywide litter and pickup event. I'm sure you're all very familiar with it. Last year we participated in 2 events. Last spring, 244 people picked up lots of litter and recyclables, and the most tires in 1 year, 66 tires. And then last fall, Missouri River Relief hosted an event on our riverbanks, and 200 people picked up 3.4 tons of trash. So now over the last 4 years, with a lot of repeats, almost 800 people have participated in Pickup Boonville activities. So it's exciting. It's become a community tradition. So I've been scouting litter the last couple of days, and I'm sorry to report there's more out there. So the 5th annual, Saturday morning, March 28th, less than 2 weeks away. All right, now I've got around 30 teams, most of the past teams, and a few new teams. So depending on the weather, it looks like we'll have 250, maybe 300. Maybe we'll luck out and have a beautiful day. As always, it's a 2-hour pickup, followed by a celebration afterwards at the Kitty Depot around 11 o'clock with music, prizes, lunch. And then that's the most fun part. The diverse groups in our community all mingle together and feel a sense of kinship, sharing their stories and excitement. And it's pretty amazing seeing all the lines blur as they mingle together. Many thanks to our larger contributors, A. Baker Floral, KWRT, City of Boonville, Isla Capri, Missouri Stream Team, Boonville Daily News, and Boonsick Industries. So most of the city council is already on board, and most everybody here is on board. A few people aren't, so we're always looking for more teams. The more helpers, the cleaner the city, healthier the city. If it sounds like fun, give me a call at 882-8877 or through pickup.boonville@gmail.com. And, or just show up at the K Depot that morning between 8 and 8:30. You can join another team. So I hope to see everybody Saturday morning, March 28th, for our 5th annual Pickup Boonville at the K Depot.
Very good. Thank you, Joan.
You're welcome.
It's a great thing you do. Any other public comments at this time? Seeing none, we'll move along to approval of the minutes of the March 2nd, 2015 council meeting. Those were in your packet. You've had the weekend to look at those. Are there any additions, corrections, or questions about those? Seeing none, they will stand as presented. Consent items, we have none this evening. Presentation of accounts and claims. Teresa, when you're ready.
Ordinance appropriating money. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Boonville as follows. Section 1, for the purpose of paying salaries and various accounts against the City of Boonville, which has been allowed by the Council at the regular meeting thereof on March 16, 2015, the sum of $295,251.33. General Fund, $158,400.14. Sanitation, $31,890.41. CIP tax, $20,204.20. Waterworks, $16,364.30. Capital projects, $2,830.50. Wastewater, $45,495.98. Tourism, $2,238.06. Gaming, $17,827.74. Parks and Water, $0.00. Section 2, the bookkeeper is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $295,251.33, being the total amount of money above appropriated. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage, first reading on March 16, 2015, read for the second time this 16th day of March 2015, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading, title only.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mayor, I make a motion we approve this.
Okay, do I hear a second? Second. Thank you. Questions? Roll call.
Carter,
Yes.
Ehlers,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
Hurt.
Yes.
Okay, unfinished business. Item A, second reading of Bill Number 2015-007, intergovernmental agreement to contract for building inspection services between the City of Boonville and the City of Blackwater, Missouri.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, authorizing and approving an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Blackwater, Missouri, and the City of Boonville, Missouri to perform building inspection services by the Boonville Building Inspector, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Morris,
Mayor, make a motion to approve it.
do I hear a second? Ned?
Second.
Questions, comments? Morris?
Earl, how is this going to affect Steve's time when we've had to hire additional people to assist him here in Boonville?
Well, I would anticipate it probably takes 2 trips over there. The first trip shouldn't take more than 2 hours, and the second trip probably likewise. So I don't, what you hired was a completely new endeavor, which hasn't quite kicked off yet. So, I'd say it's de minimis as well as any other cost.
Ned?
Earl, is this going to cover anything other than new buildings?
Other than what?
New buildings?
New buildings. Doesn't have anything to do with new buildings.
Okay, then,
Let's context a little bit. We were approached by
Blackwater.
Blackwater. Okay, so we didn't dream this up. Their mayor and
Right.
councilman came over here and asked us to help with, I believe it's 2 or 3 junk buildings in the town. They've never done anything with it, and they didn't have so-called expert to write it up to get it on the record. They went through and amended their ordinance and fixed it up so they had the process consistent. So they just need somebody to write it up. Doesn't have anything to do with new buildings. It's these 2 or 3 old ones that they've got. And I can imagine if they haven't done anything, you can probably write them up from your car because they're going to be so obvious. You know, they're literally falling down. So I can't imagine that it amounts to much.
So in essence, this isn't a long-term
Oh, no.
deal. This is
No.
just a temporary
No.
thing where Steve can help them out.
We agreed to the
Boonville can
2
help
or
them
3,
out.
however it was, they approached us for, and that's all we agreed to. So.
Great.
Any other questions?
How is he being paid? Is it being paid directly to the city? for his
I didn't
services?
ask for any reimbursement. I thought it was de minimis. So, I figured it would be, I just assumed we would want to be a good neighbor. I mean, we help out New Franklin buying salt. We go to Pilot Grove with the sewer machine. You know, if you don't want to do that, it's fine with me, but, you know, you got 4 or 5 hours of his time and 5 or 6 gallons of gas, and I don't know what else. So I'll leave that up to you all.
It does state in Exhibit A, under 3 agreements, Section 4, the city of Blackwater will reimburse the city of Boonville designated city building inspector for expenses incurred.
Yeah, I thought if there were any specific expenses that would arise over and above sort of in-kind type things, we would,
Okay, and that would come to the city.
oh, yeah. Steve's not going to get anything out of this personally now.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll call.
Carter,
Yes.
Ayers,
Yes,
Young,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
Hurt.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Item B, second reading of Bill Number 2015-008, approving the budget for fiscal year 2015-16.
An ordinance accepting and approving the budget for the City of Boonville, Missouri for the period of April 1st, 2015 through March 31st, 2016, establishing all salaries and various expense allowances as set out in said budget.
Mayor, make a motion this be approved.
Thank you, Morris. Do I hear a second? Becky? Questions or comments? We've spent the last 3 months talking about this. I think if you haven't gotten it by now, maybe it's not going to happen, so. Roll call.
Carter,
Yes.
Ayers,
yes,
Young,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
Hurt.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. New business. Item A, first and second reading of Bill Number 2015-009, amending the budget for fiscal year 2014-15.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, amending the budget for the period April 1st, 2014 through March 31st, 2015. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1. The budget for the City of Boonville for the year beginning April 1st, 2014 and ending March 31st, 2015 is hereby amended as set forth on Exhibit A, attached hereto and made a part hereof. Section 2. The various expense and revenue allowances unaffected by the budget amendment number 1 shall remain in effect. Section 3. All ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. First and second reading, March 16th, 2015. Read for the first and second time and passed the 16th day of March 2015, after a copy of this ordinance has been available for public inspection prior to its first and second reading.
Second reading, title only.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, amending the budget for the period April 1st, 2014 through March 31st, 2015.
Mayor, make a motion this be approved.
Do I hear a second? Susan seconds it. Okay, did you want to make any comments on the Exhibit A, or?
I can briefly run through it. The airport stuff is with the crop duster. As I said, I usually don't pay much attention to that because it's the margins that's matter, what you can figure out there, but in the purpose of the amendment is not to spend more than you budget yourself to do, so in this case, we are spending more than, so I raised the fuel sales up as well as the cost of fuel sold. The miscellaneous non-recurring is the hospital and a couple of other little things. Street materials is salt. Other projects on the expenditure side, no, excuse me, the 62 is revenue coming from the prison long distance. The other project is the hospital add-on. The state aviation grant, when we made the budget up, our thought was we were going to not do the airport project until later in the year to try to let the crop duster get his stuff done and be in a winding down state. Instead, things come together pretty well, and he said he thought he could live with it, so we started it early as we could rather than late as we could. So, long story short, we got almost all that grant in this year's budget, and I did not have it in this year's budget. So that's why the revenues went from 180 to 785 and the expenditures 200 to 832. That's it.
Okay. Any questions for Earl?
This is just intended to capture large items. It's not every small.
That answers
Did that
it.
just answer your question?
Just took care of it. Exactly.
Okay. This is not Earl's first council meeting.
No, you can tell.
He's been around. Any other questions? Roll call.
Carter,
Yes.
Ayers,
Yes?
Young,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Thank you very much. Item B, first reading of Bill Number 2015-012, approving GAPS storage units development at 1640 West Ashley Road.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri approving the GAP storage units development at 1640 West Ashley Road, Boonville, Cooper County, Missouri, providing an effective date therefore and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Okay. Item C, first
Mayor,
read.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. If we could, for when we discuss this, is there any way that we could get some details on the floating slab with regard to what the base is, how it's going to be built, and the legs and all of that? I didn't find
Okay.
that in here.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was probably a verbal report that the building inspector and the builder talked about, so.
You want more information than is provided in the Planning and Zoning Commission minutes?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, please.
Like what are you interested in?
I'm looking
'Cause
for-
we don't have any, we have no, it's not an engineered plan.
I know, and I read that, Megan. But a floating slab is a really good thing if it's done properly, and if it has a good base, and it has a proper amount of sand, and it has good support and legs on the outside and around the outside. That much they can detail, and they didn't detail that here.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay. First reading of Bill Number 2015-013, approving David Barton Elementary parking lot improvements at 814 Locust.
I want you to add this to your plan under the David Barton School Parking Lot Improvement. It's the lighting plan that came in the day after this packet was put together. It was promised by Miko, and they produced it. I just didn't have time to get it in the packet, so we don't have to discuss it tonight, but I want you all to have it in your packet for review at the next meeting.
Give you a few extra ones. Did you all get enough?
That's fine, I'll pick them up. Thanks. Thank you.
Teresa, if you could please read the ordinance.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri approving the David Barton Elementary School parking lot at 814 Locust Street, Boonville, Cooper County, Missouri, providing an effective date therefore and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Thank you very much. Item D, accept resignation of Ward 2 Councilman Noah Heaton. I believe you all found his letter of resignation at your place. And Teresa, if you would please read a segment of that.
Mayor Thatcher, Mr. Tessendorf, and City Council, as of March 13th, 2015, I, Noah L. Heaton, resigns as City of Boonville Ward 2 Councilman. As many of you know, my wife, Kari, lost her job of 31 years when Nordine laid off their workforce to move their Boonville operations to Mexico, and as they say, as one door closes, another one opens. With the purchase of a restaurant, my wife and I have moved to Macon, Missouri, and therefore pursuant to state and city statutes, ordinances, I can no longer serve as representative of Ward 2, City of Boonville.
Mayor, make a motion this be accepted.
Okay. Do I hear a second? Ned?
Second, thank you.
Okay. Any discussion or roll call?
Carter?
Yes.
Ayers?
Yes.
Young?
Yes.
Evans?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Beach?
Yes.
Hurt?
Yes.
Reports of standing committees. Item A, Board of Public Works. Morris?
We had our normal meeting, had one concern about surcharge, and she received all her answers and left satisfied, I guess.
Very good. Haven't heard from her since.
Haven't heard back from her.
Okay.
Have we
Okay. Planning and zoning. Becky?
Meeting was eventful. We had 3 presentations. The first 2 had their first readings tonight on the gap storage and the approval of David Barton Elementary School, which is greatly needed. So we're seeing action, and those move forward. The third issue is covered in your packet, and that is the presentation of the Rick Ball Chevrolet dealership to be placed out at B Highway and I-70. There are some questions from zoning. There's still a little bit of work to be done and answers to be collected regarding the cleanup of that facility before any construction begins. So we're moving forward on that. So.
Okay. Any questions for Becky? Okay. Historic Preservation Commission. Kari?
Yeah, we had a good meeting. I think we're coming up with some great ideas for some quarterly workshops and things that people that are interested in historic preservation can do, like historic landscaping, maybe learning how to historically tuck point, things along that line. They're also working on getting an area of Spring Street and maybe part of Morgan in the historic district. And then also, awards are coming up for historic preservation and tourism, right, Kate? And in your packet, you'll find ballots if you have somebody you want to nominate for either one of those. Look that over and let Kate know.
Any questions for Kari? Ned?
It wasn't real clear. Item C, Kari? 313 Morgan, the implication is that the commission is going over to look at that building and make a report. How, if in any way, does that affect the demolition process?
It doesn't.
Okay.
It's just from a historical recording, sort of, Kate, right? I mean, I kind of didn't understand it exactly either, but no, it doesn't have anything to do with the demolition.
Yeah, at the time of the dangerous building hearing, I had submitted to Megan a request from the Historic Preservation Commission for several volunteers to survey the property. It was on the historic building survey back from the 20s. And it's really amazing pictures that were done. If you're not familiar, Charles Van Ravensway got to start doing many of these pictures, including the ones that were there. So we wanted to go back in, plus David Mize has given us the abstract, which dates all the way back to Hannah Cole.
Right.
So it's a very historic property in our town. And so one of our commission members is here. They were there on Saturday, and they did internal, inside, like, floor plan drawings, measurements, and just kind of took an updated pictures and stuff like that, so we have it for a record.
But documents it.
Documented.
Yeah, document.
Great,
A lot
good
of
idea.
photographs. They had asked for permission to photograph, and of course you need the permission of the property owner to do that. So Megan facilitated that. Okay,
There's
so-
some good old buildings on that block.
Oh, yes, that's
Yeah.
a very old building. Okay, any other questions?
Thank you, Kari.
Reports of city officials, city administrator.
I don't have anything.
Mayor, the only thing I have is just to remind you of Pick Up Boonville on the 28th. The City of Boonville does have a team, so we're needing people to be on that. And our team leader this year is Barb Nell. who is fairly new to the City of Boonville, and so I'm sure she would love to get a call from you, so. City Councilor, Megan?
I have nothing further this evening.
Economic Developer, City Clerk.
I have nothing to say.
Okay. Miscellaneous. Anyone have any miscellaneous? Ned?
Yes, we can reopen tradition, I guess.
Oh, no. Okay.
The bid that was given to us from Gary on the painting bids, and I've mentioned this before, this particular bid just scares the bejesus out of me. The difference in the amounts is just extraordinary, and it makes you think about, oh my God, what are they skipping? I don't know. I don't suppose that we could ever convince a governmental body to always go for the middle bid, but typically a low bid with this much difference has got to mean something with regard to either material or labor or some aspect of the project, and I just want to make sure we've got it tied up nice and tight in a nice good ribbon.
Gary, do you want to speak to that?
I've had pretty detailed conversation with Mr. Phillips, who owns All American Painting, and I feel confident that he's got it covered. He is the contractor that painted the pool originally during the construction phase. He had made a comment during our pre-bid conference that the square footage I had in the bid document only covered the water surface, and I acknowledged that. But I told him also that there's about 8 foot of water in the deep end, and I wasn't going to wade out there to try to measure the wall. He assured me, because I specifically questioned him about that, and he assured me that he had computed the walls into his number. And so I was, I guess, pleasantly surprised, because I budgeted $53,000 for this project. And that's what I was hoping that I was hoping the final bid would come in under. I didn't expect it to come in that much under. But I feel confident that he should be able to complete it for that amount of money. He's planning on being, weather permitting, he's planning on being on site April the 1st.
Excellent. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Any other miscellaneous?
One other item in the financial operations, we don't talk about those very much, but this particular report in my mind was really positive, particularly on the revenue side. Now, some of that revenue is where we finally transferred over, the chunks of money for the capital projects. But even when you look at that, you're looking at 91% of our year has gone by, but you're looking at over 100% in a lot of the revenue side. I was impressed.
Okay. For the folks at home, since a lot of you don't get this, the council does monthly receive a financial statement, and it's broken down in percentages of the budget and how much the percentage of revenue and the percentage of expenditures that we have incurred during the year. And so that's kind of how we keep our finger on the pulse of what's going on, and sometimes it's kind of scary, but like Ned says, all of a sudden money shows up from taxes or somewhere, and everything is good in the end. Earl, you have anything you want to say about it?
The only observation would be there's always a few items in the revenue that are sort of one-time only things, like the back payment on the prison thing was 60 grand in there. So you wash those things out, it's not probably 101%, but it's still good year. So,
Okay. Anything else? I just wanted to, of course, you all know this, but the CIP tax is going to be voted on at the next election. And be sure and urge people to get out and vote. I think maybe this is an election that a lot of people might find it convenient just to stay at home and not vote. There's not a lot of things on the ballot. So it is very important that people go out and vote for that tax. It's very important to our economy.
April 7th.
Yes,
And it's not a new tax.
that's right.
not a new tax.
It's just a
Exactly.
re
It's an existing tax, it's just continuing that. So if you could do that, that would be good, and if there's no other business, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.